Cakers. I'm sitting here with Yvette Marner and we're going to have a little chat. Hi Yvette, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Okay, so Yvette, you're a cake decorator, a very accomplished one, a cake contestant, and the co-creator of the world famous Yvettes cake. What else do you have in your life? Private life or professional life today?
Well, I've got 2 children. One's almost grown up, she'll be 18 next year, and I've got a 9-year-old little boy.
And what are their names?
Ilinka, she also helped on the weddable dress, and my little boy's called Millen.
Okay.
And I also I teach cake decorating at college, and I also run my husband's business for him.
Oh wow, that's a lot of task.
It is.
Yeah. So what have you been doing for us?
I've been making a crocodile, I've made an apple, I've made some cupcakes, some oranges and sausages and some crackers, and I've done some brush embroidery.
Yeah, and a secret rose that we're not showing yet.
That's right.
Okay, do you remember your first cake?
I do. My first cake was from a Debbie Brown book. I think it was a fantasy book, and it was a Pegasus cake, a 2-tier cake, which is for my daughter's birthday. But unfortunately I couldn't make the Pegasus because I was unaware that I had to use pastelage. I didn't know what it was, so it just broke. So she basically had a 2-tier cake with a star on it and some clouds.
But like, it was brave enough to start with the 2-tier
well,
cake.
yeah, but I didn't realise at that point that it was harder than doing a 1-tier cake, and it's what she'd asked for, so you have to do these things to please children.
But she liked it?
Yeah, she did like it, yeah.
Did it taste good?
Of course.
Alright, then it's not bad.
It's the most important thing.
Okay, so do you remember your worst caker moment when you were about to give up? Just say that I'm leaving this in.
I think it tends to happen more on the cakes that I do for free. And I was doing a cake for my son's teacher, and it was coming up to Christmas, and I had a lot of other stuff on, and I did end up throwing the cake against the wall and running off upstairs crying.
What is the takeaway from this story?
Don't take on too much.
Yeah, and you should not really exaggerate on doing cakes for free.
Yes, definitely charge for your cakes. But the children enjoyed the cake because they scraped it off the wall.
Okay, that's a nice one. Okay, so what was your best caker moment, your triumph so far?
I think it has to be the weddable dress.
The weddable dress?
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement about it. I don't think we realised when we started just how big it was going to become. And it was a lot of hard work, but it was really exciting, so I was really pleased with that.
Yeah, it was featured in all major magazines,
newspapers,
TV.
It just went everywhere, and it was just so unexpected.
So we heard a lot about it. Like, we knew it was, it took like 300 hours to make.
Mm-hmm.
We know that it's big, but like, tell me a secret that you have never told anyone before about the weddable dress cake.
It wasn't a cake.
It wasn't a cake.
It wasn't a cake. It was a dummy.
Okay.
And it was actually based on my daughter's measurements.
On your daughter's measurements?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the name of the cake?
Well, there were a couple of names. I called her Big Betty. Ilinka called her Busty McGee. And Sylvia called her Lola.
Lola. Okay, one is cuter than the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would your advice be for someone who is just about thinking about, or just about starting their cake business, or just getting into cake decorating?
I would suggest that they learn as much as they can through tutorials and college, and just get as much information as you can, and just do as much reading and research before you start caking, and also price your cakes at a reasonable skill level. And don't start off too cheap because you find it very difficult to go up. Especially when you're doing cakes for friends and family and you're doing them for free and then everyone expects them for free.
It's a vicious circle.
It is, yeah, but just to be realistic about your prices and maybe write down how long things take you, because how long something takes me might be longer than someone else, so you can't always judge your prices by other people's.
That's a great advice. Okay. So what are your projects, like your personal projects, or do you have classes going on right now? I mean,
Yeah.
You have online classes going on, obviously, but what are you working on?
I've got some classes. I teach at college on a Tuesday evening. We've got about another 3 weeks left before we break up for the summer. And I also teach at home. We're doing a gravity cake at home. And that's nearly finished. That's again about another 3 weeks before we finish that. And then I'm going to have the summer off. I'm going to have a break.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to learn to say no.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I remember we were talking at Cake International and you said the same thing, but obviously it didn't work out.
No, it never does.
It never
does.
Okay, so what's your message to our watchers?
Enjoy the tutorials and have fun.
Hello, cakers.
Bye.
Thank you.